Hi guys, I'm Shmee. Hello, welcome back to the channel and welcome back this morning to the garage, where, as you know from my recent videos, there's an awful lot going on at the moment. So the Ford GT and the McLaren Senna are currently away on other things, which means today's video is going to be focusing, yes I know, really bad pun, please excuse me for that, on the Heritage Edition Ford Focus RS. Now this is a very special car that I'm incredibly lucky to own and have in the collection. There are only 50 of them in total, and as a tribute, they're all painted in this very bright teeth orange paintwork, which is what we're going to be talking about today. Now, up to this point, I've not driven the car all that much. In fact, to be honest, it only has around 600 miles on the clock, which means officially it hasn't actually yet completed the run-in process, but very soon that is all set to change. Next month, I'm going to take it over to Germany, the road trip adventures will begin, and just imagine what that colour will look like if I take it down to the Alps and find some snow. Of course, we've got four-wheel drive, it's fitted with winter tyres, so it's perfect for the purpose, and I can't wait to get it out and about. Now, before we do that, where I'm going to be going today is to take the Heritage RS up to Gtechniq's HQ, where they're going to give it a ceramic coating. Now, many of you will know that I take my big cars, the likes of the GT, the Senna, the LT, the GT8, over to Topaz to give them a full paint protection film installation. Now, on top of that, we tend to install Gtechniq ceramic coating as well. But on a car like this, which costs around £40,000 from new, it isn't necessarily economical to go the full hog and give it PPF, which is what we're going to talk about today, some of the differences with ceramic coating, and ultimately this car is going to get a coat of ceramic coating itself. So let's get started, let's jump in the car, let's take it up to Gtechniq and find out some more. Prior to today, this hasn't had any paintwork treatment done on it whatsoever since it was new. In fact, I first got the car back in around May, and it sat for a while before I collected it in September to get the 68 registration. It's a tribute to the 1968 Escort Mark I after all. Parked here in the garage, which is where it spent most of its time, it's sitting on the Kuberth Easy Rise tyre cushions to ensure that the tyres don't get any flat spots, and we did a few small modifications. We gave it the satin black roof around the sunroof, and also the shark fin antenna, which is slightly nicer than the normal one, which would be pointing up out of the rear. But let's take a step inside now, because I've got a fairly long drive to get to Gtechniq, where the car will spend a couple of days being worked on. As you can see, 574 miles on the clock. But let's start it up. We have the stock factory exhaust system in this car, but it does come from new with the Mountune upgrade package. So it's got the FPM 375, which means it has a little bit more horsepower and an air intake that makes quite a fun musical whistle sound. But anyway, let me head on out, get today's drive started, and we'll get up to Gtechniq. I tell you what, the weather today is fantastic. That's a very nice, very similarly coloured Porsche up ahead. But blue skies, it's 3 degrees it says on the car's temperature, which is definitely rather chilly, but lovely day to drive a very special car. And at the end of the day, it's quite easy to actually forget what this car is, but it's a tribute back to that 68 Escort Mark I.
Entering average speed check zone.
Thanks navigation, but only 50 of them. I'm definitely very, very lucky to have been able to get my hands on one, and that's why I want to use it and take it out and drive it. I don't want it to be a complete garage queen. I want to keep it in good condition, look after it, and that's one of the reasons why today we're going to go up to Gtechniq to talk a little bit more about their offerings and what they can do. Now, Topaz are a Gtechniq authorised centre, so they actually do, like I said earlier, do these coatings. For example, we did on my 911 GT3, and we will be doing on some of the newer cars as well. It just gives them a little bit more, but that's what I'm going today to learn exactly how it works and what it does. I've just gone through 600 miles or so, but I've got to get it up to about 1,000 before it's completely running and I can start using more of the revs. But the good news for me is that today is really not very busy at all. In fact, over Christmas and New Year, the motorways and just driving around, especially in London actually, have been completely deserted. It's really nice, it's very easy to get anywhere and very easy to park when you get there. So I've got about 45 minutes or so to go. Hopefully it continues to be this easy, and then we'll get there and start learning a bit more. Here I am then. This is the Gtechniq Works. This is where they train their authorised resellers and installers. So let me work out where to park up and head inside to the detailing centre. That would be this way, to work out what we're going to be doing with this car. It's time then to get started, and I will quickly say that it is absolutely freezing today, but I am joining Adam here, who is the detailing centre manager here at Gtechniq.
Yeah.
All good?
Yeah, all good, you?
I'm very good, just rather cold. So the first part of this process, talk us through what's about to happen.
So before we get the vehicle inside into our detailing studio, we must ensure that it's as clean as possible. So to do this, we will not only wash the vehicle, we will degrease the surfaces and also decontaminate the surfaces. And what that means is any sort of brake dust, any metal contamination on there, we need to remove that and get it as clean as possible.
Okay, and then when we've got the car all cleaned up, you're going to take it inside.
That's correct.
And we can talk more inside about everything that is going into this, the exact products that are going to be used, and I suppose some more of the differences with ceramic coating versus PPF and that side of things too.
So we're just using our Gtechniq W6. This is an iron and fallout remover, and this will thoroughly clean, degrease and remove any iron and fallout.
And you can see that on the brake disc already in there. It's gone very purple.
Yes, that's all the metal contamination.
Okay.
Going on to our Gtechniq W5, this is a citrus cleaner. It's an all-purpose cleaner that we use on the tyres and in the arches to break down road grime and general dirt.
Time to wash down. The colours are quite fun. After the wheels, the next up is the pre-wash to the bodywork. So the W5 cleaner again, all the way around. Going over the whole body now then, with the W6, which should in theory, especially considering where this car has been until this point, reveal quite a lot of purple blood dripping off it, which is going to contrast rather nicely against this colour. So I'm looking forward to how that's going to turn out in a couple of minutes' time. The slightly ironic thing is that there is not as much contamination on the paintwork as I had expected, which isn't so good for you guys on the video, but you can see some of it back here on the rear where it's reacted and you have these kind of blood drops dripping down. Got some around the RS logo, but not too much to be fair all around the car. So next up is going to be the snow foaming, which always looks really, really fun. So let's get the car covered in snow foam. Time to make it snow. This is always such a fun part of the process. Now the snow foam's purpose is to loosen anything that's left and ultimately get them rinsed off to have the paint as clean as possible. And then a rinse down again.
So we're just going to use the W5 citrus cleaner, and we're just going around with a soft bristled brush just to ensure that the fuel cap area is clean, the rubbers and plastics on the vehicles are clean, and we do this before the final shampoo wash. So we're just going to wash the vehicle now with the 2-bucket method. So we have our soapy shampoo in here, with our G-wash and plain water in here, and most of the dirt that comes off the vehicle will go into the rinse bucket.
Okay.
So we always start from the roof down and we work in straight lines with the wash mitt.
Rinsing down again, which starts from the very top, and you do that so that you're washing dirty water down towards the bottom as opposed to the other way around.
Just using W7 to remove some of the tar deposits that we can see.
And wow, they really do. They come, so there were some very small black dots before that we could barely see on the camera, and as soon as you've used that, you can really see where they were. That comes out remarkably quickly.
Yes.
But you want to get rid of all of those to keep, I guess, the surface as flat as possible and without any contaminants.
Yes.
On the side here, behind the front wheels, you can see a ton of tar that is reacting very, very quickly, but you don't want to keep this on the surface for too long. But you can see where all of those little specks are that are now being removed, the contaminants on the paintwork. I am very excited about getting the car in here in a moment where it will be nice and warm at Gtechniq Works, so there'll be a little bit of driving backwards and forwards just to dry the car off and dry the brakes out as well, that I think Adam's going to do. So I need to give you the key for the car for the moment, just to prep that, and then that will be inside where it is going to be, I think it's 20 degrees or so in there, which will be much, much nicer. Let's take a listen to the RS starting up. The stock exhaust, the stock factory exhaust system still on this car, which is probably how it's going to stay, but it still sounds good. 2.3 litre EcoBoost into life. You can see how cold it is from the exhaust. And the melody again from the intake at the front. even still, you get a nice whistle from the turbos. But time to get the orange inside. We're of course in winter, so it's starting to get dark very, very early in the day, but I am looking forward to warming up right now, because even though I've not been doing the work, of course Adam has been taking that responsibility to do everything correct. I am absolutely freezing from being outside, but the car now needs to be cleaned and dried down. Now that we're in the warmth, the next task on the list is to blow dry the car, and this is going to get quite noisy, I'm led to believe, but that's all good. Inside is good, so the car will now be reversed back just to be put in the centre of the ramps underneath some pretty spectacular lighting here. So this is Gtechniq Works, where effectively they train their authorised installers to know exactly how to use the different products, and it is, well, a very, very, very nice workshop to be exploring, and for this car to now be gracing these lovely floors under this amazing lighting and sounding very nice too. This means it is time to start claying the car. How does this work?
So the clay bar, we use a soft one here with some tap water or deionised water, and this is going to pull out any contamination that's embedded into the paintwork. So you just gently glide the clay bar across the paintwork, and this actually feels very slick, which is a good sign. It means it's in good condition.
This bit is new to me. So this is a paint depth gauge.
Correct, yes. So this is measuring the full thickness of the paint so that we can see how much paint is on here, because when we're polishing with the machine polishing stage, we are removing some paint. So we need to ensure it's safe to do so.
Okay, are these good numbers?
Yes. Yes, these are fine, yeah.
So this is measuring in microns?
Yes, and it's even across the panel.
Okay.
So this will also show us if we've had any resprayed sections, because they'll be a lot higher.
Okay.
If there's been any smart repairs, repair damage.
Well, let's hope it doesn't just jump up to say 350 or something in a second.
Hopefully not.
Don't want to curse.
It's very consistent.
Yeah. Now the reason that we're here and Adam has been working on the preparation of the car so far is for the ceramic coating. So let's rewind this back a little bit. What are we going to be using and what's it all about?
Okay, so the paint protection that we're going to be using, the ceramic coatings on this specific vehicle, is the Crystal Serum Ultra.
So this is the premium product?
Yes, this is a professional only. You have to be a Gtechniq accredited detailer to apply this. It's a special, very special product. It's a composite coating, which means it actually phase separates into 2 layers once it's cured. So we have a very hard 10H top layer and a more flexible 7H base layer.
So when this is installed onto the car, what are the benefits? What's it going to be doing?
Okay, so this will, once cured, initially it will add gloss to the finish, okay, and it's going to add UV resistance, swell resistance, and make maintenance washing a lot easier.
Okay, so it makes the car easier to wash.
Yes.
Protects it from getting as many swirl marks as it would otherwise. And from my understanding, you can use this either on a car like this that's just paintwork all over, or if you have a half paint protection film, or if you even have the full paint protection film.
Yes, correct. So this will bond chemically and physically to paint as well as paint protection film.
Okay.
So it could be used on the entire vehicle, and then obviously the PPF sections wherever they may be.
Okay, and so in this case, for example, I know that you're going to be working on polishing the car first. A little bit about the polishing. What's the kind of...
We're also going to top the Crystal Serum Ultra with our EXO version 4. Okay, so what this will do is offer maximum protection, and the EXO is going to offer maximum hydrophobic function.
Okay.
So it sounds complicated, but what that means is this is going to bead off the water and dirt, and again making it even easier to maintain.
Okay.
So we'll put that 2 layers of EXO over the Ultra.
Right, okay, so it'll be very interesting to see how the beading works afterwards, having seen earlier with the washing stages what's been going on.
Yes.
So...
And with regards to polishing, being a brand new vehicle, we're going to try and perform a single stage polish. What that means is we'll use a finishing polish with a finishing polishing pad on a full Rupes Bigfoot system.
Okay.
To polish and enhance the gloss.
All right, so we can take a quick look around how the car is right now. Obviously, you've gone around measuring the paint thickness,
yes,
which I'm hoping was consistent all the way around.
Yeah, it's consistent all around, yeah.
Good start. And then we'll see afterwards how it's going to look from there. Now, some of the lights are being turned off. This is a very specific facility for the purpose, and of course you want different lighting depending exactly what is going on. And as I understand it, for the polishing process, it helps to have, in this case, slightly less lighting over the car so that it can be looked at in a different way and see different aspects of the paintwork.
Okay, so we've turned off the stretch ceiling and all of the diffuse panels in the studio. The reason we do this is because now we're focusing on the spotlights which are shining onto the vehicle, which will now show us all of the defects, including swirl marks, scratches, and we also use a handheld scan grip light to enhance those even more when we're working on the polishing stage.
And you can see, even I can see, some of the swirl marks that the car has, and this is an almost new car that's only had a couple of hand washes, which just shows you how quickly those get picked up, and some small holograms as well. It's really interesting to see. I guess you'd have to study the whole car, I suppose.
Yes, yeah, we'll go around the entire vehicle, checking the overall condition, and we'll make some notes on any areas that are worse than others.
Anything that's particularly stood out?
No, just the black pillars.
Yeah, black of course, always
so these are solid
trouble.
Black pillars. So as you can see here, they're already extremely swirled.
That's amazing to see. Very obvious even on the camera, all the swirl marks
So they will
have.
require a 2 to 3 stage polish to really put them back to as new condition.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to come and see that later on when the work has been done. Hopefully get a direct comparison. Some of the compound then onto the pad. So this is always actually quite fun to watch as you do it, the technique to use the machine polisher over a big section of the car. You can see this in action, and I apologise, it might get loud.
We're now going to remove the polish residue with a good quality microfiber cloth. This is our Gtechniq MF1. So this is a high quality low pile cloth.
The amazing thing is that even I can already see how much better that area of the paintwork is. The small swirls that I can see around here are gone from there. Magic.
So before we check the paintwork again to ensure we've removed as many defects as possible, we use the Gtechniq panel wipe, which is a blend of solvents and alcohol to remove the polishing oil. So this is going to ensure that the paintwork is squeaky clean, so we can then inspect the condition before we then recheck with our light source to see if we need to do any more polishing or if we need to change the combination of polish and pad. Sometimes we need to go more aggressive to remove the defects.
Ah, okay.
So we simply just have a look, you can see here, and then the polish section is a lot better.
Yep. Not sure if the camera can pick it up quite as much, but significant improvement already. For now, I'm going to leave the Heritage RS in the hands of the team here at Gtechniq Works. As you can imagine, it takes a bit of time to do the polishing around the entirety of the exterior, so I'll pop back in a couple of days to see the progress, but also to see the application of the Crystal Serum Ultra and show you more about how it works. Now, the big party trick is the beading effect that you'll see with water on the paint, so I'm looking forward to seeing that and comparing it with how we saw it earlier when the car was being washed, and fingers crossed also those swirl marks are going to all disappear too. It takes a bit of work. They'll also be doing some more work to the wheels and to the interior, but we'll come back to take a better look at that in due course. So for now, a big thanks from me to the team at Gtechniq who invited me to come down and bring the car here to be worked on. Their links are down in the description below if you'd like to find out more. But that is it for this time. Thank you very much as always for watching, guys. You'll see me back here in a couple of days to find out more about the progress on this car. Thanks for watching as always, and I'll see you very soon. Cheers!